The other day, one of my channel members asked me what I'm gonna do if I have a health problem during the trip, or do I have some kind of health insurance to prevent and eventually help me to something like that while I travel. In this video I'm gonna give you the answer, so if you have nothing to do, grab your favorite drink and stay with me. Welcome back. This is something that many people are afraid, because when you're on long trip somewhere far away from home and you don't have access to your normal medical assistance or hospitals, usually people are afraid from things that they don't know and they don't understand. Afraid from unknown, if I can say it this way. So we're afraid to go into the dark because we don't see what is there. We're afraid to go in different countries because we don't know what is the situation there. The news makes everything so scary, and this is what stops us to explore more to the unknown territories. And I perfectly understand that, but sooner or later you have to fight this fear and try to go to places that are outside of your comfort zone and eventually learn how to deal with it. For me, being a Bulgarian and living in a country that was not so safe, let's say 25 years ago or 30 years ago, I have experienced many different unknowns, and I have seen, or I faced a lot of questions without any answers. I needed to improvise many times in my life, and all of this somehow made me a little bit more flexible, or with another words, I don't mind to take risk here and there. But if you spend your life in a controlled environment, always in safe locations, everything was good and no problems whatsoever, then it might be difficult for you to switch from one system to another without worry about it. In my opinion, there are like 3 different problems that you might have on the trip. There are many more, but I will categorize it in a 3. First, you might have a health problem. You can get sick or some other health problem. Second, you might have a crash accident, and then it's a serious health problem as well, but you'll need some kind of assistance. And the third is someone to rob you, kill you, injure you, or something like that. And if you start thinking about all of this and try to find safe solution to all of them, you realize that on the trip it is basically impossible. So you have to take some risk and believe that everything is going to be alright. And because, as I said, I'm coming from Bulgaria, and the life that I lived in my early age and even now, it's a little bit different than the life that you have, and because of that, for me it's not a problem to take risk here and there. I'm not saying that this is right or correct. I'm just explaining you why I never worried about it. So let's go back to these 3 different problems that you might have. Health problem. So what you're gonna do if you have health problem, and if you're on a long trip in remote country, far away from civilization. This was actually the question that a member asked me. So first of all, health problems, they never come just like that. You wake up tomorrow and you have serious health problem. They comes with a lot of warning signs, many weeks, months, years before the serious health problem. So if you look properly over your overall health, you shouldn't experience anything like that. But if you're reckless, if you do everything that you shouldn't do while you are at home, you don't need to expect to be in good health during the trips. So my advice to each and every one of you is to look after your health when you're at home, when you have this chance to eat the proper food, to do the proper exercises, to look after yourself. And if you follow these guidelines, you'll be alright on your trips as well. And also don't forget that during the trips, your brain and your body somehow get more motivation, and they're more, I don't know how to say, they activated a different mode, and you will not even think about health issues, or at least this is me. Even if you have some problems because of the motivation, because of everything that you have planned, because of the mission that you have to complete, you will deal with all of this much easier. And now to the point, is it really worth to make some kind of life insurance or medical assistance or any other policy like that? Well, if you can find a good provider, good insurance provider or medical assistance provider, and you can trust him that will cover all of your needs if you need them, then yes. But make sure that you read the terms and conditions on all of these insurance companies, because I read these terms and conditions on, I'll say, 5-6 different insurance companies, and then I realized that there is no physical possibility for me to take any money from them unless I have an obvious accident. Let's say car hit me on the road and it's the fault of the car, or many more examples like that. So for me it does not really worth it, because the most risky situations that I might have will be when I am not on the road, when I am in the remote areas, and when I need some kind of different assistance, let's say helicopter or something like that. But to have such a coverage and such a assistance, helicopters, and many kilometers away from your home, you have to pay completely different insurance. So it's not gonna happen just because you paid $50 or $100 for your trip. It's a different type of insurance, just remember it. And also, as I said, people are always afraid from everything that they don't know. But even if you're in a country that you know nothing about it, there are people, there are some kind of hospitals, and in many places around the world you might be able to receive even better help for a less amount of money. The example that I can give you right now is from my trip to Morocco 2016. What does it mean? 8 years ago. So my riding friend Dima fell down and broke his leg in the middle of Morocco, in the middle of the desert actually. But soon after that a car stops and helped us to load Dima and drove him to the first town, nearest town, like 50-60 kilometers away. So we went there, we found a doctor who checked the leg. His suspicion was that the leg is broken, it was the ankle, but he said we couldn't do anything here, we can just bandage it to relieve a little bit the pain, and then you have to go to the next town, which is like another 70 kilometers away, but for that purpose you need ambulance. So he called ambulance, the ambulance came, loaded Dima and transported him to his first town 70 kilometers away. And in this town they said, well, it's impossible to do anything here because we don't have all the tools or the doctors and x-ray, so you need to go to Ouarzazate, 200 kilometers away. So we had another ambulance that transported him another 200 kilometers away to Ouarzazate, and over there they were able to plaster the leg and make x-ray and plaster the leg and actually finish everything. So I also bought crutches for him to support himself, and the total amount of everything, 2 ambulances, altogether 270 kilometers, plaster, work, everything, include the crutches that I bought from the pharmacy, was $100. $100. So now I can ask you how much this will cost in Europe, France, Germany, in UK, how much this will cost in America. So please let me know in the comment section below. And now you might say, yeah, Pavlin, but this was in Morocco, over there is cheap. If this happens in the States or in Europe or something like that, it will be completely different story. And this is what I'm talking about. You never know how much it will cost you, even if you have an insurance. Now, for example, with Morocco, we haven't got insurances, he hasn't got any insurance, but even if he has insurance, he fell down in the middle of nowhere, no other cars involved, no other participants involved in the accident, and insurance companies usually work on regress. So they will like to take the money that they're gonna pay you from someone else who already was involved in this accident. So for example, if you have accident on the road and the fault is on the other driver or rider, they will take the money from his insurance. But when there is no one involved, it's a problem and they don't want to pay and always try to avoid it. And they will find many different reasons to avoid the payment. So this is what I'm talking about. And I spoke, as I said, with 5 different insurance companies, and they all said exactly the same, that they're not gonna pay me if I'm off the road. They're not gonna pay me if it's my fault. They're not gonna pay me if I crash by myself, for example, or let's say I just miss a corner and hit a tree. They're not gonna pay me for that because there is no one involved, and all of this makes insurance a little bit pointless on the trips. As I said, if you can ensure that all of this will be provided but by your insurance company provider, then go for it. But read very carefully the terms and conditions. This is my advice. Regarding to the health problems that you might have on the trip or while you travel, this is again something that you should know in advance. As I said, a good overall health will help you to avoid these problems. But if you have some kind of serious illnesses or chronic diseases, or you know that something is not right with you at the moment, my advice of course will be, don't travel right now. Just heal yourself and then go on the trip. Not when you don't feel well, not when you expect something to happen, not when you know that anything might happen because you're not in overall good health. So you have to be careful with this. That's why I always said, if you have any problems, any health problems, stay at home until you finish it, until you fix it, and then you can go to travel, but not when you're like that. That's why I said that, because I'm in good overall health. Actually, the last time when I was sick was like almost 30 years ago. Maybe I'm lucky, I don't know, maybe I have a good genes, probably, but because of that I never worried so much about my health. And about the third point, what you're gonna do if someone attack you, hit you with a, let's say, knife, or shot you with a pistol, machine gun, or anything else. Well, there is nothing you can do in this situation. You have to pray God that it's not gonna happen. And when you cannot do anything about it, I cannot see any reason to worry about it. This is the lesson that I learned a long time ago from a friend of mine, an Englishman, wonderful guy, who told me there are 2 types of problems. First one, you can solve it and you just do it. In the second, you can't do anything and there is no reason to worry about it. So this is my opinion on this topic. First of all, I never worried about something that might never happen. You never know. And secondly, if it happens, I'll try to find a solution. There are people, doctors, hospitals everywhere around the world. If you have a big health problem, there is no guarantee that you'll be able to fix it even in the so-called civilized Western world, because I have so many different examples of bad treatment or wrong treatment in my country, not only in my country, in Germany as well, in many different countries around the world. So as I said, it is something that I will never worry about it. If you want to make insurance, just do it, but make sure that you're in good health, and for that purpose you have to look after yourself every single day. Make some exercises, practice with your motorcycle, eat quality food, look after yourself, and you'll be alright. I understand that this is probably not the answer that you expect me to tell you, but this is the principle that I follow, and this is what I do. And as usual, I share only my personal experience and never rely on things that someone told me. Anyway, press like or dislike, whatever this video deserves. If you subscribe, even better. See you in the next one. Ciao.